Marine Reacts to Helsreach, Part 13, The Finale, by Richard Boylan. As always, I'm going to be posting a link to the original video channel down in the description below, so go ahead and make sure that you check them out. So real quick, before I talk about what happened in Part 12, after this, since this is the very last one of Helsreach, after this is going to be the, if the Emperor had a text-to-speech device, or TTS, however you call it. I've heard it's very funny, very memey. So that's going to be coming up next as far as the Warhammer animation goes, but there's also a couple more that I kind of want to see as well, like Siege, was it Death of Hope, like little small ones that I'll be throwing in here and there. So part 12 real quick, we saw that Andre got a little bit of a shout out from Grimaldus when they were having that battle, and we saw that Zaha, or the Titan, right, that there's possibility of her, I think, of leaving the actual battlefield to go fight somewhere else. But Grimaldus is saying that he was promised that it was until the end. So it's kind of up in the air as of right now whether or not the Zaha is going to stay or not. Now, we saw that the Salamander ended up joining there, and there's quite a bit of friction. Not only, who is it? I have the names right here. Battalion, when he was talking to Primus, I believe. He was talking about how they come up from different masters, different upbringings, different backgrounds, different planets, to just accept everything and just work as a team, essentially, which I thought was pretty cool. And the way they ended up going about the different tactics or different backgrounds when they had that little flashback when Salamanders were trying to ask the Reclusiarch to lead them in prayer, that Templars, being the internal crusade, wanted to push forward and take a risk, and we saw that the Salamanders wanted to hold back and go more defensive to protect the civilians. Now, I saw in the comments there's a lot of good reasons as to why each one was right and each one could have been wrong. Obviously, it's just, I believe I related it in part 12 as well, is that sometimes you just got to make a choice and then live by it or adapt depending on what the outcome is. And at the very end, that's something that was just really chilling, the way he said it. It was Grimaldus told him, "Get out of my city," because he really knew that the Salamanders weren't going to stay there, right? And that they weren't going to have to deal with anything after they were already set to leave. Now, from what I saw in the comments, is that this was supposed to be like a big, really big honor for a Reclusiarch to do that for a different chapter. But obviously, when he just straight up denied it, you know, lots of friction. But without talking too much more, it's going to be a over 30-minute video, so let's go ahead and get right into it. But before we do, don't forget to like, subscribe. It really does help me a lot. Hit that notification bar right there, so you're notified every time I do upload. Sometimes I'm playing twice a day. Now working on them whenever I can and releasing them early the next day. That way, when you all wake up, you have a fresh new video first thing in the morning. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see what Helsreach Part 13 has in store for us.
He is not ready. He is a master of sworn engagements and a warrior beyond peer, but he is not a leader of the chapter.
The Forge Master speaks the truth, High Marshal. Grimaldus is flawed by hesitation. A second's delay in all he does, and it is no secret why. He holds himself to his master's standards. Doubt clings to him, darkening his place in the chapter.
He is shaken by Mordred's death. He seeks his place in the Eternal Crusade.
In the coming war, I will give him the chance to find that place.
Just real quick, I like that for that little, I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily a flashback, but I mean, well, in any case, that they went back to the old, like, style. That's pretty cool.
city is falling, brother. Saren and the other humans faced that fact today. The time has come for us to choose where we will die. Then let it be where we will be remembered. Let it be where our deaths will matter, and give birth to tales worthy of being recorded in humanity's history. I know of a place. It is far from here, but there is no holier place on this entire world. There we shall dig our graves, and there we will ensure the great enemy forever remembers the name of the Black Templars.
Just real quick, when he mentioned that we gotta pick where we're gonna die. Now, like, honestly, I can already kind of try to guess what's gonna happen, which it's gonna break my heart. Just because I've been seeing these guys for a while now, and just that feeling of knowing that you're probably more than likely than not just not gonna make it. And at that point, it's like, well, would you run away? Would you try to still fight? What are you gonna do? And I don't know, just that grimness. I don't know, it just really hits you right here.
Helsreach has weeks left, but little beyond that. The siege is almost at our own gate.
We received a message from the Astartes commander in the city, the Reclusiarch. He sends word that his knights are en route to stand with us in defense.
The Reclusiarch is bringing the Black Templars here.
Yes, Prioress.
Did he happen to say why he felt the sudden wish to fight alongside the Order of the Ardent Shroud?
No, Prioress. I suspect it ties into Colonel Saren's decision to break up the remaining defenders into separate bastions. The Reclusiarch has chosen the temple.
I see. I doubt he asked permission.
No, Prioress, he didn't.
Typical Astartes. When do they arrive?
Before sunset, Mistress.
Very well. Damn it all. Well, don't just stand there gawking, girl. Prepare my battle armor.
Well, how long has it been since you wore your armor, Prioress?
How old are you, girl?
15, Mistress.
Well then. Let's just say you couldn't wipe your own backside the last time I went to war. But it'll be good to deliver a sermon with a bolter in hand again.
Reclusiarch. Hail, Bayard, I say to the Emperor's champion of the Helsreach Crusade. My liege. Priamus. Still breathing, I see. Nothing on this world will change that, my liege. Arise, brother. The day will never come that you must kneel before me. Arterian, Masterland, it is good to see you both. And
what's he been doing this whole time? I would assume he's been fighting as well. But as far as the chain of command, just for my own curiosity, would Grimaldi still be above him? Or considering that he is a champion of Helsreach, I would assume he'd be above?
you, Nero. Cador's fall tore at my heart, brother. He and I served in the Sword Brethren together. Did you know that? I knew it, Manish. Kador spoke of it often. He was my oldest.
Well, well, well. The Emperor is chosen. Come to stand with us at last.
Hail, Prioress.
I am Prioress Sindel.
I think I saw Grimaldus be the only one that didn't bow. I don't know if that's for a reason. Yeah, it looked like him, and I couldn't really get a good glance at the guy to his right, but he didn't bow.
And in the name of Saint Sylvana, I bid you welcome to the Temple of the Emperor Ascendant.
Reclusiarch Grimaldus of the Black Templars. I cannot help but notice that you do not sound welcoming.
Should I be? Half of the temple district has already fallen in the last week. Where were you then,
We were at the docks, you ungrateful little harpy. Be at ease.
Oh, Primus. That's who the other one was that didn't bow. But in any case, when they mentioned about where were they for the temple, and obviously he just said that they were defending the docks. Especially the fact that they're small. Now I heard that there's supposed to be a lot more Black Templars, but they're just focusing on them. They can't be everywhere. And if you were to try to stretch them very thin, obviously the weaker they would be. I mean, obviously not weak because they're Space Marines, but the weaker they would be as being fully functional, if that makes sense. But yeah, can't be everywhere at once.
We were, as my brother Primus explained, engaged in the east of the Hive. But we are here now, when the war is at its darkest, as the enemy approach the temple doors.
I have fought with Astartes before. I have fought alongside warriors who would have given their lives for the Imperium's ideals, and warriors that cared only for accruing glory, as if they could wear their honor like armor. Both breeds were Astartes.
We are not here to be lectured on the state of our souls.
Whether you are or not.
Also, just quickly going off of what she said right now, saying that there was two different mindsets, right? But that they're all Astartes. Now, this is the same with, say, for example, my time in the Marines. You had two versions of the way people would act. For example, you would have two different types of seniors. One of them that stuck to the more traditional yelling, screaming at every little thing, pointing out everything. And you would have the one who would probably be more chill and teach people in classroom settings and making sure that they really got exactly the knowledge that they were supposed to understand. And then they would add a little bit of stress and pressure each time to ensure that even during high stressful situations, they could still remember what they need to know. Not only knowledge, but tactics and just anything in general. Now, obviously, both sides has a good and negative side to it. I mean, on one hand, you got the guy who's screaming, could probably make sure that his guys know exactly what they need to know because they don't want to face any quote-unquote reprimand. But two, it can also create, I don't know if distrust, but it could create a lot of resentment in the way they see their senior, right? And I've seen some people that even after the first deployment, when you're after that, you're considered a senior, which honestly in the past I've heard that the only way you would actually become, or not be a boot anymore, was supposed to be that once you got in your first firefight. But obviously, since that's not always the case nowadays, that most people do it right after the first deployment. And then after that, there's a lot of guys that were still really not cool with each other. Now, you got guys on the other hand who would like to treat it more of a classroom setting, be a little more chill, really try to get the guys to understand. Now, they could still understand because maybe for the most part, people will learn better in that environment. They feel more comfortable approaching their senior, asking them questions. But that can also create a lot of cockiness and in a sense, self-entitlement because then they try to get away with more things because they think, oh, we're not going to face any reprimand, which is often not always the case because E4 Mafia, if you know, you know. So yeah, different types of mindsets within the same branch. Obviously, each one having the positive and negatives.
Doesn't matter, Reclusiarch. Will you dismiss your fellow warriors from the chamber, please? There is much to speak of.
We can speak of the temple's defense in front of my brothers.
Indeed we can. And when the...
That's another thing. damn, this one's providing a lot more similarities. When she was inferring right now that she wants to speak in private, right? Now this could be for quite a few reasons, right? Also back in the Marines, whenever someone would have like say a squad leader had an issue with the team leader. Now in my mind, a good squad leader, if they had an issue, would pull the team leader off to the side, so it's a one-on-one sesh. That way, a team leader isn't getting called out in front of his guys. He's not looking like a pussy in a sense, and the squad leader doesn't look like an asshole. And it's one of those things where if they're in a one-on-one session, they're more willing to listen because no one else is listening. It's only them two. And they're more willing to change depending on what was going on at the time. Now, if you call out someone, especially, I mean, this happened in my case where I had a squad leader I did not like at all. He's one of the few people I would say I genuinely hate. Obviously, to this day, you know, kind of thoroughly gone past it, but there have been a couple times where I'm getting called out in front of quite a few people. And obviously, I don't know what was going on in his mind. He thinks I'm just going to sit there and, like, just take that fucking yelling, right? Even when I knew I wasn't in the wrong. And then I yell back. And then I try to get hit with the, where you're talking back. It's like, if you disrespect me or if you talk to me in that manner in front of everyone, I'm going to talk to you the exact same way. And also because I knew I can handle myself in a fight if it got to that point. But, I mean, I never did. There's just a whole lot of more yelling back and forth. But, yeah. For those that are in, if you have a problem with one of you guys, talk to them in private. You're going to get a lot better response and create a lot more solidarity because then they actually know, like, hey, you actually told them something that they needed to hear instead of just trying to call them out in front of everybody. Otherwise, it's going to create a lot more issues.
When the time comes to speak of such things, they will be present. For now, please dismiss them. Remove your helm, please.
Tell me why I should.
Because I would like to look upon the face of the man I'm speaking with, and because I wish to anoint you with the waters of elucidation.
A moment, please.
Also, real quick, how do they take off, I mean, I know I'm pausing a lot, but how does he actually take off that helmet? Because the way it looks like he just took off the front part of it, but it's actually the whole thing. I don't know. And he took it forward instead of, like, if it was just a circle, I would assume you had to pull it up. But if you had to pull it up, I feel like it would get stuck, right? But it looks like he just pulled it out forward. I don't know. It's just small things that I keep seeing.
This water is thrice blessed. It brings clarity of purpose when anointed onto the doubting and the lost.
I am not lost.
I did not mean to imply that you were, Reclusiarch, but many who come here are. Kneel, if you would. I cannot reach all the way up there. You have beautiful eyes. There. You are blessed, and may tread the sacred floor of the inner sanctum without guilt. May you find the answers you seek in the house of the God Emperor.
There's always something about the way whenever he would take off his helmet that you see them, whenever you see them in the full armor, you like your mind doesn't even picture them as human. But then once you see their actual skin, their face, their eyes, it's something that just really hits you. It's like they are still human underneath all that armor, you know, emotionally, physically, mentally. But obviously, you know, being Space Marines, they're a little more enhanced overall.
Very few left. There will be enough. Have faith in your brother's blades, Bayard. I have faith. I am sanguine with my fate, Chaplain. My rank is Reclusiarch. Use it. By your will, brother, of course. But we stand vigil over the city's death, with a handful of bleeding humans, Reclusiac. I am sanguine, but I am also a realist. Have faith in the people of this city, champion. Such condescension is beneath you. These people are fighting for more than their homes and lives. They are fighting for their ancestors' honor, on the holiest ground in the entire world. The survivors of this war across the globe will take heart from sacrifices made by the thousands destined to die here. Blood of Dawn, Bayard. The Imperium was born in moments such as this. My voice was one of the few that spoke against your ascension to Mordred's wreck. I would have said the same in your place. Adjutant Quintus Tyro, Major Riken. We got cut off from Saren and the others. Throne, there are still thousands of the bastards out there. And that's not the worst of it. Explain.
The enemy still has Titans, and there's one you'll never believe until you look upon it with your own eyes. We saw it march from Rostrick Ironworks, collapsing habitation towers in its wake.
Move inside and see to your wounds. If the end is coming to these walls, you will need to stand ready. Oh, we'll all be ready. The bastards took my face, and that made it personal. Madness. Reclusiac.
Wait, I could be wrong, but I remember Andre was trying to impress the girl. One of the females, I don't remember who it was. I think it was her, or it was a different one. It must have been a different one, because I believe this one was the one that went with them to where they were getting the Oberon thing, which, now that I think about it, they're probably going to get that finally open and use it on that Titan from the Orcs. Orcs with the K.
Humans, they are a mystery to me. As soon as it has recharged my princeps. My princeps, we must disengage. We need to rearm and cool the plasma core in standard sustained venting procedure.
No more lectures. I do not care.
I'm ready. Firing. Wait for the stabilizers to come back online. They only need another minute.
The arm isn't badly damaged. I'm taking the shot. I can make it.
You'll miss, Val. Give them 30 seconds. Just 30 more seconds.
Firing.
No. This can't be. You've killed us.
I had the shot.
You son of a bitch! Why hasn't it fired?
until the end is promised.
That looked very deliberate. Like, I mean, obviously because the orcs saw that. I mean, I feel like it would be obvious to them as well that if you took out that, you would take out the entire Titan, because that's where the princip was. I heard the sad song going on, and I was like, it's not going to be good. And I'm assuming this is going to happen a lot more with some of the, specifically the Black Templars. So
They said you would be here. I beg the many forgivings of this holy place for my intrusion, but I bring news, yes? Do not be angry. The Vox is still playing many unamusing games, and I could not speak with anyone in any other way.
Speak, Legionnaire.
The beasts, they are coming in great force. Many are not far behind us, and I have heard Vox chatter that Invigilata is leaving the city.
Why would they leave us?
They would quit the city at once if Princeps Zaha was gone. Mechanicus politics.
She is gone, Reclusiac. An hour ago, we saw Storm Herald die. A moment, please. You are destined to either survive this or die at least sometime later than I.
Oh, what is this?
My mother's wedding ring, and a letter of explanation. Once this is over, if you are still drawing breath, please find Trooper Natalina Domoska of the 91st Steel Elite. You will recognize her, this I promise to you. She is the most beautiful woman in the world. Every man says so.
now I did hear that this was supposed to be a kind of a roller coaster of an episode. Now, for some reason, I feel either they're gonna kill the girl that he likes, or they're gonna kill Andre off. I swear to God, if they kill Andre, even though I've only known him for little bits and pieces, he's really got a place in here. So. I've been wondering the whole time, but I wasn't sure if I was going to be right or not. These are her order. It's supposed to be the sisters. Damn it, I can't remember at the top of my head. The sisters are supposed to be just as kind of like the Black Templars in their devotion to the actual Emperor. Sisters of battles. Sisters of the battle, or sister of the silence. The ones who are very devoted to the Emperor as well. We'll just put it at that.
Not yet.
Now, you ass, come on!
Are they coming? Oh! The bloody Templars! You're above! The Black Sword!
Come on, man. Fuck. Okay. Alright, what's his name? Jussarian has got to get there, man. Or somebody.
Priamus, Reclusiac, you are the last Emperor's champion of the Helsreach Crusade. Now, recover your blade. Status of the weapon.
Oberon Boylan has no void shields, no secondary weapon systems, and suspensor lift capability is limited. Alone, I can fire it no more than once every 20 minutes. I need to recharge the fuel cells manually and regenerate flow from the plasma containment.
Heed these last words, Forge Master. Do not bring the weapon too close. The Temple District is naught but fire and ash, and we are surrounded on all sides. Flee the city. Pursue Invigilator's retreating forces, and link up with the Imperial assault along the Hemlock.
You wish me to run?
I wish you to live rather than die in vain, and save a weapon precious to the Imperium. We will be buried here, Jurisian. There is no dishonor that your fate is elsewhere. For Dawn and the Emperor.
By your will, Reclusiac.
I don't think I can even put it into words, the amount of time and effort and just constant, because I heard someone say, or heard a few people say in the comments, when he mentioned how long it would take him to get Oberon, that it was going to take, I forgot what the exact time he said, but it was over a month and a half from the last time I remember, but it could have been longer because it had been a few episodes past then. And this was supposed to be him working on it consistently, somewhat non-stop from what I was being told. I mean, I don't know how true that is, but, and the fact that it kept on making little extra, I think it was like extra pieces, or it was consistently evolving.
Kill them all! Let none survive! Never has an alien defied this holiest of places!
Take heart, brothers! Fight in the Emperor's name! I have dug my grave in this place. I will either triumph or I will die. No pity, no remorse, no fear. Altarian! Goodbye, brother. die on this world. I will die on Armageddon.
Dude, that roller coaster in that little section. Okay, I can feel my eyes get a little blurry, but keeping it in. Dude, every time those orcs, you see them anytime that they were charging. I saw 3 specific instances where I legitimately got chills. And, fuck, man. I mean, when Primus just is saying Grimaldus, and it's like, you can see that he's kind of pleading for help, or at least he knows that he's, like, that's it. And then, you see, was it, check his name, Arturian, who seemed like to be one of the more closer ones with Grimaldus. And you just see him just say, essentially, like, as well, that, hey, this is it. And then he gets killed. Then you see Nero get killed as well. So it's only Jerusian who isn't there right now. And now you got Grimaldus, who seems to be the last Black Templar. They took out the Sisters of Battle, at least the one that was the leader. You still got Andre. That's kind of a plus. Damn, dude, this is... I mean, I kind of expected this to happen, but not like that. Alright, so you got a few minutes. I swear to God, if they kill off any more people...
They call it the season of fire. The ash wastes are choking with dust from roaring volcanoes. Fighting across most of the world is ceasing, not because of victory or defeat, but because there can be no arguing with Armageddon itself. In a handful of days, no man or Xenos beast will be able to breathe in the wastelands, so the war ceases for now. Imperial forces consolidate the territories to which they still lay claim, and drive the invaders out from those where the orcs have managed to grasp no more than a weak hold. Helsreach is one of these places.
Hello, hero.
Greetings, Andre.
Perhaps you should salute me now, though, yes?
I am not beholden to a guard captain, but congratulations.
Yes, I know. But I must be offering many thanks for you keeping your word, and telling my captain of my deeds.
An oath is an oath. Your friend, your love, did you find her?
Yes. I did find her. I am glad you made it. I heard you were very injured, yes?
Obviously, you can tell that she didn't make it. Well, it's good to see Andre doing well. And I like the fact that it's gone back to this type of style to kind of really illustrate that shit was crazy. I mean, I don't know how they survived it. I mean, if anybody does know, like, maybe they just held out long enough, maybe... they had some more help. No idea.
Not enough to kill me. The reports I have heard indicated no one else survived the fall of the Basilica.
Yes, that would make for a wonderful story, no? The last Black Knight, the only survivor of the greatest battle in Helsreach. I apologize for surviving and breaking the flow of your legend, Reclusiac. I promise most faithfully that I and the 6 or 7 others will be very quiet. I'll let you have all the thunder.
Were you not injured at all?
Wait, 6 or 7, and then him. So out of everyone, that's it. Like, that's everyone that survived.
Yeah, I had a headache, but then it went away.
This makes me smile. Arterium, Priamus, Bastolan, Cador, Nero. Forgive me for living, while you all lie cold and still. We are judged in life for the evil we destroy. It is a bleak truth that there is nothing but blood awaiting us in the spaces between the stars. But the Emperor sees all that transpires in his domain, and we are judged equally for the illumination we bring to the blackest nights. We are judged in life for those moments we spill light into the darkest reaches of his Imperium. Your world taught me this. Your world and the war that brought me here. Hero of Helsreach, the crowd cheers. As if there is only one.
Alright, let's go ahead and talk about that for a minute. As you can tell, I'm probably not in the best mood right now just because of kind of what just happened in here. But, you know, grimdark universe, man. Grimdark future. And honestly, in the beginning, I was surprised. About halfway through, I was able to relate quite a bit of stuff. But then when we started to get more into the actual, more of the end battle, that's where it really hits you right here. And just, really, man, the biggest thing that really threw me off, kind of, even though it probably shouldn't, was, I mean, I believe I had mentioned it before, like, it could be like a sniper's bullet, or it could be just anything in general, and you can just drop like that, right? Like, no big, glorious, like you had a one-on-one fight with someone type deal, which is kind of what I assumed would happen with some of these guys, but, like we saw, who was it? Bastolan just get taken out like that, right? And then you see some of them kind of go out, to put it quite literal, a blaze of glory, where they actually, say for example, they killed Primus with the flamethrower type weapon. You saw that Nero had been impaled, and he still managed to at least kill the orc that had impaled them. Now, I've been curious about that as well. This armor that they're supposed to be wearing is supposed to be like really, really strong, right? Or at the very least, I would assume very strong. Are the orcs using a specific type of weapon to pierce it, or is it just that they have the incredible strength to just pierce it with whatever weapon they have? Because I would assume that a lot of this armor would have at least protected them from quite a bit of stuff. Now, that's just me thinking about that, but that moment, I mean, I kind of wonder what happened to Jerusalem, as far as, now, I'm not even sure if this story keeps going on further on in different audiobooks. If it did, I would love to see that. The part when they said that they were chanting hero, or Helsreach hero, and then he says, even though for some reason they think that there was only one, which really just put it into words at least, or implied that everyone there had a part in them succeeding, right? Just that part where, I mean, someone even commented here when he said when Andre said I had a headache, but then it went away. And then when you actually find out that Grimalda said that it made him smile. And it just really goes to humanize him a little more and more. But yeah, for the most part, lots of emotions. I know people were telling me it was going to be a tearjerker, and I kind of expected this, but the fact that it still happens doesn't make it any more, hurting in the feels. But if you made it this far, here's just a little tidbit about me. And it's just something really small, nothing too big, just a little story of back when I was still new to the fleet, that we were drinking with a couple of seniors, and at the time we had a red solo cup, and we had a Bacardi 151. Now me and a peer of mine were dared to drink a full cup of Bacardi 151, and we were told, hey, whoever fails has to do 20 pull-ups. Now, I wasn't confident in my pull-ups. I know I could get like 10 to 15, depending on if I had really worked out the day, even though we had really been drinking. So I didn't want to be the one to do it. So I knew I was going to chug it as fast as I could. As soon as we started, the other guy took a sip, and I ended up downing the whole thing. Within minutes, I was gone. I mean, I was still conscious somewhat, But I tried chasing it down with some Coke, some Pepsi, anything, and the shit tasted like apples to me, like apple juice. So at that point I was like, okay, I know I'm gonna pass that at one point, so I need to know. Boom, that was it. As early the next morning, 10 a.m. And I was like, well, let's not fucking do that again. So I've never really drank hard liquor too much then. I mean, I have drunk it, but as soon as I would get like very buzzed, I would typically try to taper off of it, or start drinking a little bit of water, start drinking some soda, anything to kind of get it out of my system, because I know I'm going to wake up with a pretty bad hangover the next day. And it's led to a couple of instances of, I believe I said it in a previous video as well, and if not, I'll just say here very briefly that when we had gone back from the second deployment, since we were sober over there because we couldn't drink, I ended up drinking Jack for about 3/4 of a bottle's worth in one night, and obviously it wasn't the best idea. I ended up waking up in the hospital, and as soon as I woke up, I was like, shit, I must have thrown up or something. Maybe I hit my head, like, because I fell down or something. But yeah, ever since that moment as well, I've really stopped hard liquor, at least. I still enjoy beer here and every now and then. If you've seen the last video, I believe I mentioned it. I enjoy mixed drinks that are somewhat fruit flavored, just because it tastes really good, man. It's like juice. And it sneaks up on you too. But yeah, that was just a little tidbit about me. That's gonna go ahead and do it for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, really does help me out a lot. Hit that dislike button if you didn't like it. It helps me improve the channel. If you're curious to see what's coming on next, just check the description down below. You're gonna see a list of about 5 videos. Top to bottom is gonna be how I view them. But until then, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.